get situated a little bit. Forward here. Be okay. Well, welcome to our winter concert. Doesn't really feel like a winter concert. It's awesome weather today. They actually had to turn on the AC when we came in. We believe it because it was too warm in here, so quite a funny thing. Well, tonight's concert, it's great to see such a great crowd, by the way. Thank you all for coming. It's great. Very exciting stuff. Tonight's concert's theme is entitled Forbidden Romance. Forbidden Romance. And for instance, that piece that we just played, it's about a guy who wants to marry a girl, but her father will only allow her to marry somebody who wins a singing competition. And so that's the whole Meister singer. He has to become a master singer in order to marry this girl. And you thought online dating was so difficult. You just swipe. Yeah. So you have a big challenge there. Well, the next piece is the only piece that we're playing that has nothing to do with romance. But there is a pretty funny story that I'd like to share with you about how the piece was conceived. So the Strauss oboe concerto, Strauss, of course, is a German composer. And picture yourself in the spring of 1945 in southern Germany where Strauss lives. Now, of course, those of you who know history, that's an interesting year for Germans. They are not doing so well on the war sort of topic there, and things are coming into play. And a gentleman named John Delancey is a corporal in the U.S. Army, and he's stationed in that city to occupy the city because, of course, got to, make sure Hitler doesn't do any more crazy things and stuff like that, right? So, funny thing, John is also the principal oboist of the Pittsburgh Symphony. And so he goes up and is quite excited, goes up to Strauss's house, knocks on his door, says, "Hey, I'm a big fan of yours. Would you be willing to compose an oboe concerto?" Of course, he's in military gear, has a rifle. Most composers in that situation would probably say, "Yeah, okay, right? No problem. Next week, you come right back." But it turns out Strauss was known for being a bit of a grump. And so he says, "No," and so slams the door shut. So I'm kind of making up this story. I'm not sure if this is real stuff, but I'm embellishing it. Maybe they'll make a movie out of this someday, right? But it is true. He was stationed there. He asked Strauss at the door. That may be something I made up of it. But anyhow, you get the idea. Well, a few months later, Strauss was thinking, well, so nice. He came here, asked nicely, didn't shoot me, and he actually ended up writing an oboe concerto. And that is what we're going to be performing tonight. It actually has a few elements I want you to be listening for. 3 sort of motifs that come out and play throughout the piece. The first is a 4/16 that go da-da-da-da. In fact, that's the opening quarter beat of the cellos that opens the whole piece. So listen to that motif. The second motif is this rhythm that goes da-da-da-da-da-da-da-da. And that's actually the opening oboe line. You'll hear that rhythm and that melody sort of play throughout the piece. And the final one is 3 repeated notes followed by a long note. Da, da, ta, ta. And that's actually supposedly a little bit of a quote on the Fate theme of Beethoven's Fifth Symphony, da, 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 which is ironic because next concert we are playing Beethoven's Fifth Symphony. Yeah. So, and that was a total accident. I just read about this today on Wikipedia. I was like, wow, that's quite random. That's a nice little tie-in. It makes it look like I was planning this all along, which I wasn't. So, anyhow, that's a great little tie-in. Wonderful piece. Actually, all the movements weave in together, kind of one long sort of piece. Not long in like a bad way, but there's no gaps. There's like no end of the first, but it kind of flows in the second movement, flows in the third movement. So when it gets to the end, and you think, oh, 25 minutes, are we just done with the first movement? No, that's the end of the piece, right? Okay. And before I introduce our soloist, I do want to mention that one of the reasons why Town Hall tends to give us very preferential treatment on our scheduling dates is that our audience tends to be quite thirsty. And so I wanted to always plug this, that we do have concessions that Town Hall sells, snacks, alcohol, non-alcoholic, that's a thing now, the non-alcoholic thing too, so that's okay too if you want to, I'm okay with that too. And that really helps us support Town Hall, so I encourage you to do that. There's a station there, a station over there. They really appreciate it. I do warn you, the second half, the West Side Story is a pretty sad ending, so you may want to stock up And you can actually drink it in the hall because it has a lid here. So I encourage you to go for the bigger cup because the second half does have some frowny moments in the disappointment. So without further ado, I'm really excited to welcome Adam Parnell. Adam's been playing with Pearson for over 10 years. He's been our English horn player, fabulous musician, plays around, even some professional level groups here. We're just so lucky to have him solo with us. Let's please give a warm welcome to Adam, our soloist. So this piece doesn't call for oboe in the orchestra, of course, because the oboe's here. So we're also relying on Adam to tune us as well. So that's what's going on here.